guess. Is it okay if I Instagram live?
Yeah, definitely. Sure. We're actually trying this thing out where we're on YouTube live, like streaming live, so that would also work.
Okay.
So how's the kickoff?
It's good. It's good. We had a. That's why he's in town. Okay, is this Shola, right? Shola is the multimedia consultant based in Houston.
Okay.
He always comes in to save us when we need to get it done.
Nice to meet you, lifesaver.
Yes.
At least you look like Red Cross.
Set up. What? Are these SM7Bs?
The electro voice.
No, the EVs. Okay, no matter.
You leaving, Shola? You don't want to join us? You don't want to say that?
Okay, no problem.
Alright. Shola leaving this night as well, so.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's.
I saw it on TV.
So is it part of your tour or is it just another gig entirely?
What was that?
Oh, your trip?
No, I'm working on another project.
Oh, okay.
I'm working on a jazz project. I imagine I still make music. No, I mean I committed to this one and I can't go back.
So like I hear your tour is going to be like outside Nigeria, in Nigeria.
Yeah, mostly across Nigeria. So we're doing the stretch, and then we're doing the UK, the US, we're doing some African countries. So yeah, we're doing Ghana, Benin Republic, a couple other places. It's quite exciting. And we're gonna get on the road. Like we're literally gonna get on the road. I look forward to that.
Yeah. I don't like road trips.
You don't? I live for road trips.
This is a boring. They just stay on the road and just going.
It's exciting. You get to interesting places you didn't even know exist. Like places you didn't know existed in the country you've lived in for so long. I love road trips.
Alright, so we're gonna get this going by 2:00.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you wanted to do it earlier.
Yeah. I said 1:32 because like I wanted to target that time so that just in case anything comes up, like my boss can say, you know what, go and pre-record this. Oh no, go and do live. No, that kind of thing. So yeah.
So I'm going to 3:00. How long are we going to be on for?
Yeah, like 30, 45. Is that good?
And you can't do 1:45.
Well, we could do one. We could do 1:45.
Like I should be the last person with a choice in the matter, right?
Yes, you should.
But please spare me, Khadija. I know you love me already, and I love you back.
No, I don't love you anymore.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Look at that smile. Yes, you do.
Okay, we could do 1:45. We'll come right after fella.
Okay, that's good. Cool, that sounds good. Destin, reach out to Funke somewhere. Reach out to Anthony to put it up, and I'm going to be on smooth for 1:45. On Twitter and Instagram. And get ready to go live. This is like the good stuff from Philander. When his Horns members still tuning.
Yes. I think that's what I really like about his music. The horns. He and Manny the Bangles.
Oh yeah, they do. Manny the Bangles, Horns men are better tuned. So.
What would you say was Fela's most preferred?
I don't know. With the saxophone, obviously. I mean, he played it a lot.
Okay, everybody seems to think it's a saxophone.
Yeah, it's a saxophone. I mean, he played a lot of keys as well.
Because I read an article and it said it was the trumpet, right? And I also heard in an interview that Femi said it was the trumpet, but he preferred to play the saxophone because it was quite easier than the trumpet,
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting the things you find out about musicians.
Play how many?
I don't know. I just play them, man. I just play them. I think I'm more focused on what I don't play. Because I mean, I played the violin and it once sounded like I was working a chainsaw. like someone was wheezing, literally. Somebody was having an asthma attack. No, it's not. It'll be tricky now. That's what it is. It's not like a high, but it's not that kind of high.
Okay, so is there anything specific you'd like to talk about?
Well, I mean, just the album, the tour. That's really it.
Okay.
Can I talk about your hair?
Absolutely, why not? My hair is very undecided. Like, it doesn't know where it wants to be. It's just,
Well, I think we have a sense, a direction, kind of.
Does it
Yeah.
really? I think this is what happens when you just decide not to comb your hair, period.
How does that thing even work?
What's that? Not combing
Like
your
not
hair.
combing your hair.
It's the easiest thing to do in
Kind, you
life.
should try it.
No.
It's the easiest thing to do in life, I promise you. Like, I live for it, not combing my hair. Let me tell you the things I like. Not combing my hair. Not wearing shoes with laces.
Oh, and by the way, you have to tell us 5 things we don't know about you.
Like, I'm wearing flip-flops right now. This guy is beside himself with, So I went to Crab's Gourmet to have dinner yesterday on Saturday, and I was wearing flip-flops, bathroom flip-flops, like what I'm wearing. And he, at a point, he was like, I swear, I promise you, like, I'll do anything, like, just take my slippers or something, just don't do this. I'm like, man, I'm like, and this is how I'm actually going to do this to the airport. And this is how I'm going to
Like
do
you
it.
really
Freedom, yeah?
absolutely do not care.
No, I don't care.
I like you.
What am I?
It's good to not care sometimes.
I don't care. It's easy. Like there's so much you don't have to worry about. You can focus on the more important things. Right? You can focus on being creative.
Well, I mean, you were being clean about it, yeah. Not that I didn't notice that you were wearing flip-flops. I was like, okay, he's wearing flip-flops. But whatever, moving on. Although I used to have a lecturer in uni and he was just very crappy about his own style of wearing flip-flops. Like, it was just horrible.
I've had those days. Yeah, I've had those days where, I've passed away.
Okay, so we're gonna be doing that's towards the end of the interview. There, 5 things we don't know about you, and a life lesson, like a proper life lesson, something life has actually taught you. Rather.
Okay, no wahala. I'll have to think about that. But
Yeah,
like,
which is I'm telling you now. So
5 things people don't know about me. Well, I mean, I've been talking about those now. I think people are slowly beginning to know. So I don't know. I have to think about. They're not to 5.
anything
Really?
random,
Any random thing.
interesting, whatever.
Oh, by the way, your top 12 is so funny. I don't
Oh,
know
that.
how you get those jokes. It's crazy.
Even listening to my top 12.
Yes, we listen to your talk.
I stopped it for a bit. I'm bringing it back. I just wanted to focus on getting this album off the ground.
How long did it take you to put the album together?
5 years.
5 years.
Yes.
And what's that thing about organic music?
Yes, it's just organic aspect. It's all live. It's all live. So the orchestra, the musicians.
Isn't that a lot of hard work? Like,
Well, I
isn't
mean,
that
it is
too-
work, but that's how you make music. That's how you should make music. Because that way you don't have like a glass ceiling. It's not about what you alone can do. It's the combined effort of everybody you work with. Creating good music.
Well, that also is expensive.
It is expensive. No, hence 5 years. I'm happy. I'm happy it's out. Happy it's out. So I'm prepping for the release of my next album.
Like you just dropped one.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just do a double album?
No, because the subject matters are like far apart. So this first album has a very strong like Christian undertone. My next album doesn't.
Ah,
Does that
so it's gonna be more like a little bit of the commercial side that we saw to Cobhams like from last year.
It still won't be. it won't be commercial still. It's still very live, still very, but it's more love and life. And, yeah, just
yes. We said we were going to ask you, please, when you did MC, what happened to you? Who broke your heart?
Yeah.
no one.
Or who broke someone you? As in,
Nobody
what
broke
happened?
anybody's heart.
Like you need to listen to or listen to that song. Like everyone just quiet and
I
everybody
did
just
MJ from a very happy place actually.
really.
Yes, from a very happy place. I was thinking about God and my wife.
Wow.
Yeah, those are happy people for me. That's a happy place to me.
That is a happy place.
That's a very happy place to be.
So Teddy, take some cues in there.
We do know.
What's that?
I like to
Actually, put them all in two.
I did not.
I read somewhere that you want to go into politics. Are you planning on being president?
I do know president. Yeah, so I can say this off air. If you want to be a president,
Because we're going to ask that on
be
air.
the vice president.
What?
The best way to be president.
I'm telling you, he's right.
Yeah, man. Just follow our artist events. Be the vice president, man, and you be the president. Yeah. Nigeria, so the vice presidents make a successful president.
Well, true. If you look at the past ones and the
Except
current
for-
one,
Except Obasanjo. Obasanjo is
that was a bad thing.
Obasanjo is gangster, man.
You don't care.
He's not not anybody in it.
It's like that song Files and with you and Files. Hey,
Which one was it?
yeah, boost it. Yeah. There are a lot of political undertones and I loved it.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. That was the whole idea. So where do you guys live?
Are you
your
ready?
Our air conditioning is very, very fantastic at the moment. So,
Okay, so please.
Are you going on?
Hello,
We're gonna
this
be
is
on right
Fala.
after
Join
this.
me this Easter, the 13th, 14th, and 15th of April 2017 at the Echo Hotel for Fela the concert. It's going to be an amazing show. Make sure you are there. Get your tickets. And for more information, visit
Alright, studio.
www.felatheconcert.lagos.com. You'll be surprised how many times I've actually done this in my life. You can't tell from my radio voice.
So 98.1, we're still right in here, and yes indeed, got all the right vibes to you for a Monday afternoon. You just heard Fela and Nicola Kuti there with the song called Shen Shema, and we got some really good news when it comes to, Fela, the Broadway musical and concert in Lagos coming up real soon. So hey, you might need to keep your ears peeled and not to worry. I know some of my colleagues have been giving out some really cool VIP tickets. I'm gonna give out some tickets too, okay? So yes, just hang in there. But right now, City of Lagos, there's been some, changing plans. In fact, today there's been a lot of changing plans. And somehow we've got the Artist of the Month in the studio today. Like, we kind of, I don't know, it's like fast forward right now. I'm not really sure what's going on. But hey, guess what, Lagos? We've got Cobhams Asuquo in here with us.
Yay! Hello, world.
Okay, so Cobhams, we've told you that you need to do something. I don't know what the punishment is going to be. So please, Lagos, what do we do to Cobhams? What do we do? Don't
Yes.
give me that mercy thing like, oh, let's just pity him.
Lord have mercy.
Alright, so Cobhams, how are you doing?
I am fantastic, thank you.
Fresh off your show yesterday, like
Fresh
you're here
off the
today.
show,
like,
yes.
Who has all this energy? Like, hello?
You'd be surprised. People are working in Lagos.
I know, like we work so hard. So hard.
Yes.
Can I just say that personally, I feel very honored to have you in the studio. I mean, we've been really looking forward to this moment, and I mean, we've got so much to ask you.
Okay.
So much to ask you.
Okay.
City
I
of
feel
Lagos.
like I'm about to take a polygraph test.
No, it's not
I
that
think you
bad.
are.
It's not that bad actually. But hey, Lagos, all you need to do is go up on Twitter at smooth91fm, and if you got any questions for Cobhams, anything you'd like to say about his music or whatever, please drop your questions up on Twitter at smooth91fm or on WhatsApp 0809-444-0981. Okay, so Cobhams, you got a new album, actually your debut album,
Yes, yes.
and we've known Cobhams for what? Let's see, about 12, 15 years?
Forever.
Fair about. Forever is a long time, my friend.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, how come it took so long to have an album by Cobhams?
So first of all, I've been a producer all these years, and I've focused on that, just making music for people, interpreting just the heart and the soul of the music that they're interested in creating. For me, this album is a different experience. It's me stepping out and telling my own story and sharing my own thoughts with my own voice. Yeah, so obviously I had to sort of deal with my primary assignments as a producer and then get to the space where I allow myself to organically evolve into being a performing and recording artist.
Wow, that sounds like a really good plan, I have to say.
Good. I don't know if it's good. I just know it's intentional.
Well, yeah. I mean, no, I don't think a lot of people go through life like with plans. Okay, let me just speak for myself. Actually, I'm not one of those people who go through life with plans.
5-year plans.
Like I hate to hear like, oh yeah, so what's your 5-year plan? I'm like, no.
Yeah, you don't look very serious when you don't say those things.
Exactly, but
I just dream. That's what I do.
Actually, exactly.
I'm a dreamer. But I guess when you dream, you plan in a way.
Yeah. But if you don't spend too much time dreaming, girl. Well, hey, I was gonna ask you though, like, you know how I read somewhere like you really didn't think you had a great voice, or you somehow thought you couldn't sing, or something like that.
That is true.
How weird is that?
I think it's just the honest truth. I didn't like my voice. Period. I didn't like my voice. I didn't understand why it had to crack. I didn't think it was so for everybody else. I heard on the radio. So I spent a lot of time wondering, what is this? So maybe I should just share the ideas that I have, express them to other people. You know what I mean? And that was one of the reasons why I took production seriously, because I had all these great vocal ideas and just bringing music together, and I felt like there were voices that would help me express these ideas. So as a songwriter and as a producer, that's what you do. You kind of embellish other people's ideas, and you just make them better with your experience and of course your technical knowledge. And I enjoyed doing that for a bit until I figured, only you can tell the story, only you can convey this level, this magnitude of art form the way you want to, because it's in your head, it's your message, it's your voice. And I'm not speaking literally just your voice, but your voice in terms of what it carries, and it's important that it is heard. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, so
it's not the most comfortable place to be.
Because I was just gonna ask you, like, okay, I mean, for someone who isn't exactly comfortable with his voice, you've come to that decision, but how did you get to adjust to liking your voice? Do you have to like your voice now, or you're just going with the flow?
It's a mix. It's a mix of both. On one level, I realize that the more you sing, the more you practice, the more comfortable you become with your own voice, your own skin. And also just realizing the import of what you're called to do. You do it anyway, and realizing that it's not about you. And you might feel a certain way about your voice, and when you make music, you're not just making music for yourself. As a matter of fact, half of the time you're not making music for yourself at all. And if the people you're making music for appreciate your voice, then it is up to you to give them what they love and what they appreciate, and kind of step out of you're not the most important in the grand scheme of things. You are important, but the people who need to hear the message, what I mean, are more important. And when you see things in that light, you do what you've got to do. And then if if you're big on excellence, then you give it your best while you're at it.
Okay, so does that have anything to do with like the title of the album, perhaps?
The title of the album for me speaks to one of the greatest relationships in my life, which is my relationship with God. And it's interesting how that's a bit of a controversial subject in a very religious country, or among in a very religious society. How it's just sort of become like a backstreet conversation. But I think for me, it's one that I'm unafraid to have. It's one that I feel like is important to have on a different level, not on a level of the industry of hope, not on a level of just the dynamics of church or whatever, if you will, but just on a more real level, on a more practical level. And so I felt like, so, for me, that relationship is worth celebrating. So for you, in the original sense of inspiration is for God. But then again, for you, the listener, because there are songs on the album that speak to a specific place in the person's life. There were songs I wrote when I was in a very bad place. There were songs I wrote when I felt like, look, we ought to be better. We ought to do better. So it is for you, the listener, it is for you, whoever it is that someone shares the album for. Yeah. So it kind of has multiple edges, if you will.
Hmm. Okay, well, we know you as probably one of the busiest producers ever, because not only you're working with people here in Nigeria, you're working with other artists from, different parts of the world as well. So how are you able to juggle, working on your own music and working, for other people as well?
It's interesting when people say one of the busiest producers. A lot of people will expect me to take that as a compliment, but I usually don't, because it's very easy to be busy doing nothing. What I mean? You're just all over the place. You know what I mean? It's just stagnant motion. Well, it's not even motion at all. You're just literally jogging on one spot. But for me, I think that's probably one of the reasons why it took so long to put the album together. Besides the fact that I had to clear out my savings. Yes, I had to work on other projects. So in the course of recording this album, I was also, I recorded 3 albums in the space of 5 years. This is the first of 3 albums for me. And then I was also able to record for Omaomi, and Record Omaomi has an absolutely amazing body of work that's coming out sometime this year. That I'm just totally proud of, because it's very daring. And I was able to record for Timmy Dakolo and Bears and Banky W and just, all these other, amazing friends of mine, who I feel like we're on the same page in terms of putting out music that's just true and sincere and all that. Yeah, so it was a lot of work going on in that space of time.
Okay.
All right. So, well, generally though, having the fact that you've worked with so many artists, what would you describe your own type of sound as? What would you describe your music as? What name would you call it?
So I struggle with categorizing and saying, what, this is urban soul, and this is pop singer songwriter blues, and all these. For me, the most important thing is make the music and name it later. You know what I mean? Okay. And half the time, I don't even find the time to name it, because I moved on to the next bit of, if you follow the creation story, whether in the Bible or the Quran or whatever, God made things and then named them. So I think the most important thing is creating. You don't, you want that awesomeness to come through. You know what I mean? And then, you can put a name to it afterwards. And so for me, I would say that my music is true. I would say that it's honest. I would say that it's sincere. I think it's a reflection of where my mind was at the time the music was being created. And because my mind is dynamic, that's always going to change from space to space. Now, obviously, I need to understand that I have a following that is, would like to have some measure of consistency, and I try to work on that. But in terms of the music, the one thing I think you can guarantee with the music that I make is it will always be true to its art, true to its sonic integrity, and just the technical components that make it what it is, and just true to me as a person. Yeah, so I think that I can't put a name. I can't say it's reggae or it's this or that. I cross genres very easily because I also listen to a wide spectrum of music, but it's just true art.
Nice. Okay, but in talking about music that's true art still, now, you recorded your album in different parts of the world, basically, and worked with a lot of people. Now, coming down here to Nigeria, how do you intend to, how would you balance your music with the commercial type of music that's done here? We'll have a lot of Afro pop, we have a lot of Afro jazz, and different types of sounds here that are mainstream and commercial. How would your album compete with that?
I think one of the things we struggle with, not just in Nigeria but in the world, is the need to be in a safe space. I'm not a safe space kind of guy. I was just thinking about it this morning and telling myself, for whatever reason, I don't know how I wound up here, but I hate to follow the path of least resistance. Like, for me, the harder it is, the more I want to take on it. And it can be tiring sometimes. You know what I mean? Always trying to quote unquote eat Pinky in the brain and take over the world and change the world and all of that stuff. But for me, that's what's important to me, and that's what I'm doing with my album project. I don't know if I'm trying to compete with mainstream music. I mean, look at Smooth FM, for instance. You've been, here for, however many years, creating great music. That we have all my cars tuned to smooth because we love the sound and it is different in this space. I believe that there's a silent majority that will consume what we're about and what we create. And that's who I'm supposed to cater to. Now, mainstream music is great for what it is and for what it's worth, but we can't all be plumbers and we can't all be bank directors. We can't all be, lawyers, and we can't all be. I mean, there's just a variety of people, and just a plethora of artists who I think should spread themselves and just create music to serve the different genres and the different people who appreciate and absorb this music. I'm in my space, and proudly so.
Yes, sir. All right, great one. Well, City of Lagos, we're going to be listening to some of the new songs off that new album for you, and of course some really great songs that he's had and released over the years as well. And of course, talking about all the really amazing people he's worked with as well on this show. Remember, you can also catch us live on YouTube if you do have the time. Just search for Smooth 981 and you are good to go. But right now, let's listen to this song off his new album. It's called Angels All Around.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. There are angels all around. We are wherever you find. You go harmonizing. Hey, you know your music, my friend. So be still. There are angels all around.
So for the album, you had YJ,
over mountains, oceans.
you didn't have too many people. Given the fact that you worked with
For
so many
the album or the launch, the concert.
the concert, both of them actually.
No, for the album I only had 3 features: Aaron Lindsay, Claire Hendershot, and Musa. Yeah, YJ's not on the album.
So why is that?
Again, I make music as is necessary. So I don't go out thinking, I'm going to have 4 features, I'm going to have 3 features. I'm just like, I'm going to make music, man. And if this person that comes to me, then that's the person I'm going to have on it. There are angels all around. They are wherever you find me. So be still,
This song reminds me of, well, not a particular cartoon, but different cartoon soundtracks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Moana, like
animated.
Yeah.
They are watching over me. Over mountains, oceans, and sea. So be still, don't make a sound.
So when do you need to be out of here?
Not that I need to be out of here. What time is it?
It's 2 o'clock.
Okay, well, I mean, we can do 2:30.
Okay, 2:30. Guess who's here?
Hey, Jenny.
Yeah.
Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Cobhams. How you doing? I did say I'm gonna come storm your studio and surprise you with my voice.
I know.
I used to be in a group when I was younger.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was a group called Starmates back in the 80s, early 80s. And we had songs. And the producer that was supposed to work with was Odion Eruje. And he then, at that time, Chris Okosi had just come out with I Need Someone and blah, blah, blah. And our manager, we went with our manager, and the guy said, oh, we love the songs. Can we do songs for Chris Okosi's next album? And the manager said, no fucking way. we walked out, and that was it.
Oh, wow.
That was it.
back after this in a little bit.
30 seconds.
Wow, the guy first beat Nada 6-0 first set. Nada replied 6-2. I don't think this is live.
All right, studio. Here we go. Smooth 98.1. Oh, how great was that? Cobhams, Asuquo with the song called Angels All Around. City of Lagos, you're still listening to the smoothest style on Lagos Radio. And yes, indeed, we've got the very amazing Cobhams Asuquo in here with us. All right, so that was a great song, by the way.
Thank you.
A really great song. And that's another thing, really great trait about, Cobhams' music. Right? It's just one of the songs you listen to, with some peace and calm, and you actually do listen, which is just really fantastic. All right, so like you mentioned earlier, there's a whole lot of things you're working on, and somewhere between the talk, you talked about how you had like 3 albums, and we've just seen like just one of the body of work that you have. So when are you going to be putting out something new? Are we going to be seeing that anytime soon or later? What's the plan?
Pretty soon, less than a year.
In less than a year?
Yeah, my second album is out my second album is out about 11 months from the first.
Someone's out here breaking records,
Oh, that is heavy stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put out music, man. This is what there's too much formulae and too much, and it's great. Don't get me wrong. The science is great to know how things work. It's great to understand the dynamic of things and make it work. But gravity was a law until aerodynamics came along. Yeah. So for me, that's just you never know. Like, I'm happy to try and fail. I'm perfectly happy to try and fail, as long as failure is part of the journey and not the destination. So yeah, if I had to put out an album 3 months after the first, I would. That would be a monumentally stupid thing to do right now. But but if I had to do that, then the only reason I'm not doing that is because I can tell myself for free that that's just not
gonna
smart
work
thing to do. Yeah, but I'm doing, and I'm happy doing. And I think because I'm in a place where I can give a lot of people who like me want to do, just the hope and the audacity to do.
Now that the album is out there, can you walk us through what to expect? What are the songs to look out for? It's out there, but what are your favorite songs on the album already?
Oh, wow, do I have favorite songs on the album? Okay, so Angels is definitely a song after my heart. It's a song I love very much, just because I believe that you're nothing without good people. You know what I mean? People propel you. People say things, even when they don't give you things, they say things that move you to your next level. And for me, I generally have had a lot of those people just holding my hand and moving me to my next level. There's a song I featured Nusa on the album. It's titled No One. That's a song that's after my heart because it's got a very interesting mix. There's a bit of R&B, there's a bit of the African sound. We employed the talking drum in that sound, and even though it's a Christian song, it's a song that speaks to just God and who He is to me. It's also what do you call it? It's a love song. You know what I mean? And I love to be able to write a love song, not from that I am not worthy place, which is, well, yes, true, but more from a let's get intimate, let's get close, let's get Marvin Gaye, but let it be someone who's
Here he goes, getting Marvin Gaye with the mic.
Let it be someone who's as important to me. So I love No One very much. There's a song with Claire Hendershot. I also love very much. She's an amazing friend of mine, and it's a song titled "Oh How I Love." It's a great song because it talks about just how God is so amazing and so big, and how He would consider Himself to be so lowly just to connect with us. And they're quite obviously ordinary people, because it's a song that speaks to a need that is eminent in our time. We need to be better people. And we need to understand that seemingly everyday people have done absolutely amazing things. So yeah, there's quite a number of songs on the album that I like for different reasons. There's obviously a song where Kingdom Come talks about how we need to pay attention to teaching people the right things, as opposed to God being just your problem solver, which is pretty much what it is in the Nigerian space. I find it quite annoying, and I think it's important to sing about things like this and talk about things like this. Yeah, so it's a ton of songs. I could go on for the rest of the show.
I mean, like, okay, so last year we saw you do a couple of songs, a couple of people. Well, on this album, can we say that you were quite specific about the people you had on? Because you clearly had, just 3 people you were working with on this album. And I would say they specifically did fit, the tracks they were featured on. So were you very specific about the people you had on your album?
I'm always specific about the people I have on music. So it was important, for instance, to do Who Sits with Fowls, the bad guy, because everybody, he's generally just, that jocular tone, that, what I mean, just being able to engage people in that sense. But then again, he's known for being able to address very sensitive issues and still come through and still be witty and still have people listen. I mean, the WhatsApp, for instance, just that. So for me, it was important to have someone like that on a song like that. I mean, I had Ugovina on The Other Room, and obviously The Other Room is a very sensitive song for me, just in terms of what it talks about and what it's about. And I feel like there are a lot of lines that were just kind of missed in that song. When you think about it, you're a runs girl, but can you run that long? And we were actually referring to Solomon Dalong. And, you know what I mean? So for me, it's I'm very intentional and very, very specific about how people sit on music, and this album is no exception.
Oh, great stuff. Okay, go ahead, Kyrie.
Now, digressing just a little bit, though, you talked about politics. I mean, when we're here in the studio off air, are we going to see some political undertones in maybe the upcoming albums? And also, are we going to see some political undertones in this album that's already out there?
So I think that music is, among many things, and among, being like a tool for entertainment and enjoyment and all that, is also a tool for social reformation and awareness and consciousness, if you will. You can't have a tool as powerful as music and not for it, and it wouldn't have meaning. I realize that politicians become friends of musicians just before a campaign, and the relationship sort of moves a little sideways, after that situation is done. But I mean, politicians are generally like that with everybody else. So, yes, I think that there'll always be a message. For me, there'll always be a message in the music that I put out. And sometimes it might be political, at other times it might not be. I think it would be a message that's relevant. I'm not going to say to myself, I'm going to make this a political message. Yes, it would be relevant, per time. But I do believe that, some of the works that will come out will contain, or maybe not Fela strong, but, strong enough political messages. Is there any political message in this current project? Yes, I feel like, Ordinary People, for instance, calls us to be better people. I feel like it calls us to be better drivers, better politicians, better bread sellers, better whoever we are. And I feel like, Let Your Kingdom Come, for instance, is a song that calls us to strip, the body of God of just all the politics and all the little interesting things that go on, and just focus on reaching out to the need, and meeting the needs of people. And, well, not just Christians, Muslims, atheists, Zoroastrians, whoever, just Sikhs, just reaching out and meeting the needs of people, and living in a government that cares for people, that shows love more than anything else. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, if you find any politics in that, then well, it is what it is.
All right. Well, so we're going to go on a quick break right now, take a quick breather. When we were back, we'll get to talk more with Cobhams and probably listen to one more song before we get back on our. So stay close to your radio.
Hi, this is Bez on the Casbah. On your love music, love life station, Smooth 98.1.
We will be together forever, baby.
Discover. Welcome, Center of Delve into new dimensions of luxury experience.
You have a way with words.
I do.
You do.
Oh wow, that's interesting. The soap is not like verbose and over. You know, you can be all over the place sometimes.
No, it's actually you're
sense.
You're
yeah.
not succinctly clear. People are just like, what is he saying? Yeah. Pastors can be very. Sometimes it gets really complicated, and you're like, okay, you know what? I'll just give. I don't care what you're saying. In the long term.
So when you do go to church, what church do you attend?
It's interesting. My church life is very, very interesting. So for the longest time, I went to Daystar. Yeah, I have a great relationship with this present house. I have a very strong, deep relationship with the Redeemed Church. But my home church is a small church somewhere in Lekki called Victoria Fellowship Church. I go to Victoria Fellowship Church because the church is big on missions. Yeah, we do a lot of missionary work. It's very, give to people as each one has need, which I think is very practical. And yeah, very practical and very what it should be, really. Yeah, but outside of that, I have a relationship with a lot of churches.
Nice.
So at a point, I used to cut like the intro music for like a lot of pastors and their CDs and tapes and all that, or work with their choir, and just stuff like that. So I've generally been in that space, and I was born Catholic. So in a sense,
That says a lot now.
yeah, when I was 16, I produced this LA album. So man, look,
So music for you is a lifetime thing. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it is. You just make music. You just make music. If you're a musician, you make music. Even when you're not playing music, you make music in your head.
So your top 12 countdown. How does music come to you? How do you who is who?
So when I listen to radio, for instance, like sometimes I hear great stuff, or sometimes when people noticed I was doing that, they started sending a lot of great stuff to me. At other times, I go online myself and I'm just listening, looking out for who's doing interesting things. And then my guys, they have their ears to the ground. My team, they're always looking out for who's making amazing music out there that needs to be exposed. They're always bringing stuff, and we always have to sift through a lot of the stuff and settle on what we think is great music.
Because at first I thought maybe majority of the songs that made the top 12 was partially songs that you produced. But then I realized that you couldn't have produced.
Yeah, I don't even like putting songs. I mean, we get forced to put songs I produced on the top 12. Yeah, it's not something I like to do, because then it loses its credibility. Yeah, it loses its credibility. Yeah, and I want people to think of it as a credible show. Okay.
Your voice isn't cracked.
I don't. Yeah.
Sorry.
Like, I remember the first time I read it and I was like, is it the same guy who did Ordinary People that is talking about, like, not...
Well, obviously,
why would you not like your
a lot
voice?
now, though, so I think that's sort of helped. That's the thing, the more you exercise the muscles, the better it gets. Hello? Just a second. Who's speaking? Hey, Brian, what's up? I'm in the middle of a radio interview. Let me talk to you when I'm out. Yeah, so when you keep, just practicing, you kind of become more familiar with your voice. But then again, you still have like your voice texture, and your tone, which you can't really think about. That's what you're born with. It's like your fingerprint. You really have things like that to deal with. And if you don't like that very much, then well, too bad.
What makes it your music?
So the version of Ordinary People you're playing right now was mixed by a guy called John Yash. He is based in Nashville. But the one on the album was mixed by a guy called David Darlington. He's based in New York.
So how come we didn't have...
The one you're playing right now has like the soundbite of kids in the background and all that. The one on the album doesn't. And the one on the album is a clearer, less compressed, less radio mix.
So how come you didn't have empty on your album?
It was never meant to be on the album. It was just
Teaser.
eye candy. Ear candy.
I'm tired. Driving me nuts. Maybe we should have it on here. Like we should put it on here so just in case this person use this one. Alright, so we're up in a bit.
So when we come back now, we're going to be talking all about your other things outside music that you do.
I can make clothes for people.
Okay.
I don't do it.
We'll probably get to your 5 things we don't know about you as well, so we can round up.
Wow.
Well, let's just go. Studio.
Smooth 98.1, and that there is Ordinary People by Cobhams Asuquo, who is our special guest in the studio today, the Artist of the Month, and I must say that this is a fantastic song. And I did, get that political undertone that you've been talking about. It's not out there, it's really subtle, you know? It's just, I think it's just right, right balance, right blend, right mix. But on a lighter note though, let's talk about your personal style. We couldn't help but notice your hair. Dreadlocks, I mean, it's quite creative. What inspired that?
What inspired that? Let's see. Just the need for life to be easy. That sounds like a Mr. Easy line. Yeah, the need for life to be easy. When you carry, like blocks, you don't need to comb your hair. So let me tell you, I like things that make my life easy. So I don't like lace-up shoes. I like stuff you can just, slip into. So I'm wearing flip-flops, like bathroom slippers, like Dunlop slippers.
Yes, Lagos.
Dunlop.
He walked in here. Cobhams walked into a studio in Dunlop slippers.
And okay, so I've found myself in Frankfurt before. Dunlop slippers. I found
How
myself
did they on the plane?
in Charles de Gaulle Airport. And I think I might. I'm out tonight, and I think I might just do it. I like it. I love it. I love it.
Don't you get cold feet?
If Dangote wore Dunlop slippers and flew in them, we would all wear Dunlop slippers, wouldn't we?
No.
I
I don't wear. I like my style like that.
That's the basic.
right. I believe you. Most of us, why do people wear like Beats by Dre headphones around their necks?
I don't wear Beats by Dre headphones around my neck.
No, you don't do it. Are you like part of the majority?
Okay, well, true. I'm very weird like that. All right.
Exactly. Yeah, so I think for me it's just the ease of life. Like, I like things that don't stress me, and it's easy to carry my hair this way. It doesn't stress me. Just a little oil rub and shine in the morning and
Did you just say rub and shine?
rub and shine, my sister.
Oh my god!
Just touch the hair up in the morning and you're good to go, man. Like, yeah, so that's it for me. I think that's what inspires.
And your wife isn't complaining.
Nope, she isn't.
Wow.
Not at all.
Aren't you a lucky man? Like,
Yeah,
you don't have one of those people who just nag and nag, like you need to
But
get
just
a
like
haircut.
me, she's easy, just like me. She's easy, yeah. So yeah, she hates she's minimal stress. You know what I mean? Let's just keep it moving. We're easy.
Okay, life is good.
Life is good. I
Yes,
promise
indeed.
you.
All right, but yeah. So you talked about having to do your music in so many parts of the world, especially some of the songs you had on the album. Like, how many places did you get to record your music?
Well, I recorded this album mostly in the U.S.
Why? Is there a reason behind that?
Yes, there were specific musicians I wanted, like in terms of session men, I wanted on the record, and I could. So there's this guitarist. His name is Jerry McPherson, and I love his sound. I love his tone. Jerry, let me see. Jerry has over 40 guitars in his basement, and he has these microphones on robotic heads that he points to whatever cabinet he wants to record from to get whatever tone he wants. And he tours with like Tim McGraw and Faith Hill and Kenny Chesney and like the country greats. There's Dan Needham who has his personal studio on like 100 acres of just property and has over 100 snares to get like different, whether he wants a Black Beauty snare sound or he wants a Ludwig snare sound or he wants a piccolo snare sound. Just people who are very particular about their music. And I found a lot of them, like in Nashville and New York, and Houston and all these places. And I wanted the sound, that they could bring to the record. So I went out and looked for this. I was very, specific about the guys who jumped on the project. Very, very specific, just because of the things. So for instance, when I first tried to voice myself on the project, that's like trying to give yourself your haircut. I was so disappointed that I didn't sing for 2 months. And I scrapped everything I had done voicing myself. And then I got this vocal director who spent 5 hours voicing one verse of a song. I was like, okay, this is it. Now it's time for us to go. This is, yeah. So, now
which is also why it cost a lot to, put this album together.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Yeah.
It had that, like, you have no idea.
Yeah, but I'm glad it's out. So if I'd known it would cost this much, I don't know if I would have, gone ahead. I don't know.
We should have warned you, like, Cobhams,
I don't
don't
know,
do
yeah,
it.
so much. That's why they don't build a house without first counting the cost.
Yeah. But coming back home, though, talking about other Nigerian producers, I mean, what Nigerian producers would you say are really doing it big for you? I mean, who are the guys that really interest you here in Nigeria?
I think there are a number of guys who are doing absolutely amazing things with their sounds. Just, willing to be different and willing to try different things. Some of them are not, as well known in the mainstream space, but just things they get to do. So, for instance, a friend, Roti, he's really, really talented producer, and he's been making great music. I really like SARS. I think that SARS is almost like the king of dance for me. He always gets it right. Always gets it right. I think DJ Kublon came in with a different sound, however mainstream, but a special, his own sound. I like Sele Bobo very much. He's almost got your melody on lockdown. Yeah, and I like that sound. Don Jazzy for many years for me because he's not just a producer, he's a writer, and he knows how to create music that resonates with the people. So he's a music maker for the people. It's a good thing because that's how you're able to get your music to go far. Well, there's quite a number of people. I mean, some of them are not like really well known, but they make great music. There's a young cat to watch out for, a guy called Mela Music. Mela, yes, he's extremely talented, and I like him because he's also chosen not to follow like the safe path. I don't know that puts you out there in the eyes and ears of people as quickly, but the people who know of you and who remember you for a long time.
Okay. All right. So let's get to 5 things we do not know about Cobhams Asuquo. 5 things we don't know about you. It's not that hard.
It is. Okay. So the first thing would be, and I always like to give the disclaimer first. I don't like what it does, but I like the engineering of it. I like the German or Russian or European technology behind it. I like the precision, attention to, and the finish. Just when you pick one up, when you hold it, and it feels like something for serious business. but I don't like what it does. I actually have a thing for guns.
All that drama.
Like, I was gonna say, okay, that Cobhams, can you just say it already?
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at a nice little um, handheld firearm like a Beretta or 9mm or something. I mean, it has a beautiful look.
So obviously,
I want to encourage people to go out and get one. I don't think,
No, please no, Cobhams.
no, I wouldn't. It's just let's live. This is a gun. It should be a gun-free society.
Yes.
And we should encourage it for only law enforcement officials whose duty it is to, ensure the safety of lives and property. But it just has such a good feel to it.
Okay, so the first one is you like the sound of firearms.
I don't like the sound as much as I like the feel.
Yeah. I do not want to be around you when you have one around you now. Sounds like it's going to be very excited. Okay, so let's see. What's the second one?
I'm not a city guy. So if I had my way, I'm very suburbia. I would live on like 100 acres of just greens and goodness. And yeah, I'm not a city guy at all. But because I don't like traffic and just the madness. So I don't like big cities very much.
Okay.
I'm not a city guy.
Okay, and then the third?
I really love to drive. I love to drive.
Oh my gosh, Cobhams, you're killing me right now.
Speaking about driving, we saw
The
a
thing
skit
with
that you
IK.
did with IK. Okay, that was hilarious.
That was too much.
This is recession.
Okay, so you're fourth now.
I have a thing for gadgets. So I love like supercars. I love cameras. Why would I love cameras though? Yeah, so I like cameras. I like supercars. So yeah, so Ferrari Spiders, McLarens, Ghosts and Phantoms, and and I like pickup trucks. So Silverados, F-150s. And I love cars and gadgets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then your fifth round?
Oh my goodness, what is my fifth? I don't know. I don't have a fifth.
You're doing so good.
I'm
So
going
good.
to have to think hard about this one. What is the fifth thing? I'm just going to burn your airtime. I can't think.
Okay, let me give you one. Football. What football team do you like the most?
No, just leave me out of that.
Thank you, Cobhams.
Leave me out of that.
Thank you.
Leave me
I think I'd rather fulfill the fifth one actually. Okay, but really now, okay, let's move into a life lesson. Considering how long you've been here, how long you've been doing your music, and not just music or producing, but being a person in general. Something you've learned out of life so far. It might not necessarily have to do with the music or production or anything, but a life lesson.
It would for me. It would be a number of things. One, I'd say, don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. There's so much talk about success rate. We don't understand that. Failure is part of the process. So I'd say, don't be afraid to fail. And then I'd say, extend grace. We're in a world of imperfect people just trying to make it and trying to be better. So don't expect that people will always get it right. Extend grace to yourself and extend grace to other people. And then I'd say, do. I've been a thinker and a dreamer for so many years. But I think that, the results that I have seen from the things I have done have taught me that sometimes it's important to do, no matter how small. So right now I'm very big on doing. And then fourthly and most importantly, love. It'll help you live long. It'll take care of half of the possible physical ailments you could have. Love. Just have a heart that is willing to love. and willing to receive love. And if you don't, and loving is more about giving it than it is about receiving it. You may not always get it back in return, but condition yourself to always give it. It'll make you a better person, and I promise you it'll help you live longer.
Wow, thank you so much, Cobhams. That sounds really, really good. But just before we let you go, there's this thing about how a lot of people want to get into music, or maybe not even music, acting, a career, whatever it is. Well, I think mostly music. We see a lot of people who want to do music, and everybody says, you know what, just do your good music and don't worry about what anybody says or anybody has to do, and the money would come after a while. Just chase your passion. And how does that even work? Because for somebody who sees all of the flashy cars, the lifestyle, that a lot of artists these days, it's gonna seem like, what are you guys crazy? Like, yeah, driving the Mercedes and you're telling me to just keep doing music for the passion, and stuff like that. How does that process work? Because not a lot of people are very patient with that.
Well, first of all, you have to understand that not everybody driving a Mercedes got it from music. A lot of people probably won't tell you that. But the honest truth is, if you knew half of the things that people do to get where they are, to get to where they are, or to get what they have, you'll find out that your mother didn't raise you that way. So you really want to know the source before you celebrate it. I'm not saying this to say that there are people who don't make it, through this means. Music is, what I've done all my life, and I dare say that I live comfortably, but it's a process, and there are times I've been frustrated. I would say be true to yourself. It's one of the most. Be true to yourself, and can I say this in Yoruba? Is it allowed?
Go ahead.
Okay, so one Yoruba saying that has stayed with me, and I think has become a mantra of sorts, is don't work based on someone else's timing. Be proud of your own lane and own your own lane. And sometimes, some people are going to run faster or farther than you. But as long as you own your own lane, you're all right. And that's what I say. Own your own lane. And if music burns in your soul, or acting burns in your soul, and you're frustrated because you can't express yourself through it, then it's most likely for you. There are some people who quite honestly have no business in the field they've chosen. They're talented in other things. I think it's important to find out if this is what you want to do. If you were stripped of this, if it would mean your life. I think that's important. But be true to yourself. And we haven't all been called to succeed, doing mainstream music. And we haven't all been called to succeed at the same time. And, success is relative. It's not always about money. Sometimes it's about, the lives you impact. Sometimes it's, just about the legacy you leave. Sometimes it's actually doing the thankless job of opening the floodgates for the people who are coming after you. And that's all right. That's all right. It doesn't absolutely have to be. I mean, think about the guys who made football, what it was before the likes of Kanu Wankwo and the other guys, came along. So someone's got to do it. And it just maybe you. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy what your role is in the grand scheme of things in this big picture called life. There is a bigger picture, and you're just a component. You have a role to play. And I'd say be true to yourself and play your path. Your part.
All right. Well, Studio Lagos, that was a really, really good. Thank you so much, Cobhams, for that. We would love to keep you in here as long.
I gotta go.
But yeah, he has to go. He has to go. It was so great having you as the Artist of the Month. We thoroughly enjoyed your music and all of the work you've done so far for other people as well. Made for a great playlist.
Thank you, Khadija, and thank you, Kayode. Is it some kind of coincidence? What is it that Khadija?
I don't know. He keeps going around with me. I don't know what his problem is.
I think reverse is the case, but I'll let this one slide.
See what I mean? See what I mean? But anyways, Cobhams, so how can people reach you, want to say hello to you, or probably want to share information and stuff? You see people in your WhatsApp saying, oh my god, Cobhams, I'm a drummer, I'm a pianist, I'm this and that. So how can people get in touch with you?
I'm very active on Twitter, and it's at Cobhams Asuquo. It's at CBHAMS ASUQUO. It's the same handle for my Instagram and my Facebook. So I tend to reply more on Twitter, but just engage by putting up posts more on Instagram and Facebook. So Twitter is usually a good place to engage me. But on the other platforms, I put up posts more than I reply. I mean, I reply every now and again. Sometimes, yeah, every now and again. But I definitely engage way more on Twitter. I haven't been doing so as much because I've been prepping for the album and all that good stuff. But yes.
So where's the next stop? We had the tour kick yesterday at Artiste. So where is the next stop for Cobhams and the For You tour?
We're going to a number of places. We're here in Lagos for a bit from the 14th to the 16th of April. We're at Promised Land. We're at Dominion City, both in Aja. We're at Divine Glory in Ikeja. We are at Household of Faith, 30th of April. Household of Faith on the 30th of April. We're going off to Abuja at some point. We're going to be in Ibadan. We're going to be in Ekiti, Ondo. We're going to Port Harcourt towards the end of April. We're going to be in Port Harcourt for a bit. I'm in London on the 6th of May at the Facebook office in London. So we're in a couple of places, but starting this week, starting in April, from Divine Glory and Embrace Assembly, both in Lagos. Just if you go to www.cobhamsasuquo.com/for-you-tour, you'll get the tour details, and we're gonna put them up on Instagram and Twitter.
Oh my God, you have no idea how happy that makes me feel, because we don't see a lot of Nigerian artists who single-handedly, for their own music, just go around Nigeria. Like, basically just touch down, like, Lagos, Abuja, maybe Port Harcourt, and then, So, how come you decided to touch on, like, different other states?
Well, because we can, and because there are people in these spaces who engage and who want that kind of engagement. And yes, tour support is crazy expensive, but it is necessary, and I think it's the most. It's one of the best ways for me to connect with your followers, with people who love what you do, is to be able to engage. So, for instance, we're going to IDP camps, we're going to campuses, we're going to prisons, and we just want to engage directly with people. That's how I've always engaged with. I find that the bulk of people who engage me are like, airport workers, security guards, like just regular everyday people. And I love to engage with these people in their natural spaces. And what better way to do that than to just go around and engage with them? So yeah, that's why we're doing this. We're really hopping on a plane, getting on a bus, and just engaging directly with people.
Well, I have to say thank you very much, Cobhams. That is so great. And of course, if you're out there, go get yourself the album For You. Spend some naira or some dollar or some pounds and get it and listen to it and, take it all in. Thank you very much, Cobhams, for stopping by. And Lagos, we're going to continue with some really great world music all till 4 p.m. right before the smooth drive, so do not change that dial. We'll be right back. Here is something by Cobhams featuring Bez, and this one is called Do the Right Thing. Alright, that was good.
I did say you have a way with words. It's too much.
Okay, this is our we have 2 birds, like I don't call them hummingbirds. Ken and Chelsea. They do all the singing for us.
Oh wow.
Okay, can I have a shot of t-shirt?
Sure. Let's do it.
You don't want to do that backdrop?
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Can I come on? Photo bomb? I'm sweating, so I don't want to take picture with all the sweat. My own.
Jimmy, I think it's your tongue there.
No, what?
Thank you.
Actually, what happens after that?
Would you please help us take a picture? Thank you.
Okay.
Laptop.
Huh?
Okay.
So this is
All right.
Who makes things work without him? We will not be on air.
He's probably the third most important person. So.
Oh wow! You're very close to God. Stop.
Okay.
So we can have our kind of look good.
Okay.
How they go?
You look like an addendum to
Let me stand here. Yeah.
Okay, done. Okay, Khadija.
Do the right thing.
I always do the right
Do the right thing.